Okay, we'll take about probably 30 minutes, go over some announcements and stuff, and get things kind of rolling. Then we'll take a break, have a cigarette, recover, and we'll go right into mock court. If you see the way everything's set up, the judge, the witness, the jury, the plaintiff is always by the jury. The defendant is away from the jury. This isn't exactly like a courtroom, obviously. Gives you a pretty good feeling for it. That would be what's called the gallery. There's usually a bar, almost like a fence railing with a gate between the gallery and the actual courtroom. Now, that is really considered the courtroom, but it's called the gallery. This is where the trial takes place on this side of what's called the bar. Don't misunderstand things. Some of that patriot crap is reasonably correct. Most of it's not. You can still get held in contempt when you're back there, okay? That you do not get to throw things at the judge just because you're not on the ship. And there is some foundation in law as to why there is a gate and why you must enter and blah, blah, blah. But we're not going to really go into that. That doesn't really matter in this aspect of civil law. So, and this is a civil case. This is not a criminal case. It's a tort. It can be done in chancery, it can be done in admiralty, it can be done in equity, it can be done civilly. They're all pretty much similar. I'm not going to have a long discussion on the flag and admiralty law. Most of that does not apply in this matter. So I kind of want to get a good feel for what you all thought about yesterday. And everybody's, oh, well, thank you. Was it more than worth your money?
Yes.
Okay, was it the best money you spent dollar per dollar for any seminar?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there anybody here that doesn't feel they got their money's worth yesterday? Okay, that's good. Is there anybody here that wouldn't suggest other people come and do this? Just be honest with me. All I'm looking is for honesty. If you don't think other people should come and do this sort of thing, I need to know it.
Not that other people should come, that most people, it's too much for them. They can't understand it. That they're alive.
I do understand the concept and the belief that everybody else is stupid. Okay? What's that?
They just said that everybody else is stupid.
And what's that? There you go. The problem is that's not true. You know, we all run around going, attorneys have got us so programmed and insurance companies have us so programmed. You got to make sure things are idiot proof. You can't make anything. I've known idiots. You can't make anything idiot proof. People are not that dumb. They're really not. The average walk around American has an IQ of somewhere in the low 3 digits of 100. Oh, would you knock it the hell up? 70. That's just the judges. No, it's not that they're too stupid, that they just don't know enough. They've never had the thought put in their head. They've never questioned anything. They've never wanted to. They've never taken the time. Like I say, I've been doing this since I was a kid. I can remember trying to teach people in high school things and them thinking I'm nuts. And I'll run into one. I'm from here, so I'll run into one of them every now and again. And now that's the first thing they'll bring up to me. That shit you were talking about 30 years ago, you were right. Yes. We thought you were insane. Yeah, well, you should have seen what I thought about you. But I'm sorry, I just don't buy that. I've been doing this way too long. People aren't necessarily stupid. They're just completely wrong. They just are. They've been trained to be wrong. They've been programmed to be wrong. They're just wrong. That doesn't mean they're stupid. You know, it just doesn't. Sure, which is part of imprinting. It's fear based. Sure, and that's real standard. I, what's that?
There's a video on YouTube called Five Monkeys. It's a little like an animation video. It's like a minute and a half long, and it explains exactly how to imprint and condition. And it's so simple and so fast. It's stupid. And it's crazy. You have to watch it. It's so simple you can imprint 6 billion people.
Oh yeah, it's not that hard.
I mean, it's really simple.
Yeah.
Really, really, really simple. And you don't have to. It doesn't have to involve any. It doesn't have to involve any real threat.
No, no. People run through their lives scared. Once you reach the point where you're no longer really scared or fearful, it's much harder to be imprinted. Those of us that don't operate on fear don't get brainwashed very easily. But most people do operate on fear. They can't help it. And your parents did it to you. You know, do this and you'll get a spanking. Do this and you'll get grounded. It's like, how about I do this and you let me get the hell out of here? That's what I told my parents, and I left. You know, this is probably, and I make a lot of jokes about it, but this is probably the only seminar that you've ever been to where the guy up front is the poorest guy in the room. Most of the time you'll go to a seminar and the guy's making mega bucks, and that's what they're there for. You see all the people involved in getting this done. You know, there's nobody in this room that has less money than me. That it just couldn't happen. Couldn't get through your day. But so many people make sure that I'm taken care of that I don't really necessarily need it. The thing is, I can honestly tell you that, you know, the absence of money notwithstanding, I consider myself one of the richest people I've ever known. I wouldn't trade this shit for the world, you know. I just wouldn't. The important part is you can all get there. It takes some work. We had a little discussion earlier about the whole Social Security thing and why you volunteered to be a slave. I would suggest you don't do it. The way you really become a slave is you spend your whole life stealing. That's all we do. You do it in a million different ways, most of them sublime, and you don't realize that you're doing it. I'll give you a quick example, and you can just let it sink in, and then we'll kind of start on our day here. We were talking about the issues of the Social Security number. I am a recovering pastor, I like to say, and I did that for a little while for different groups. I'm by no means a disciplined theologian, but I'm very devout. So I believe what's in the scriptures, and I'm not here to Bible thump you just because it's Sunday or anything. I'm just giving you my point of reference. And I make a lot of determinations in law based on the fact that American jurisprudence must stem from the scriptures. It's required to. The commercial side of law, the civil side, tort, chancery, admiralty, that also stems from scriptures. You just got to understand what part of scriptures it comes from. So when you talk about something like a Social Security number, you will see on a form, and it's usually very repetitive, it will say your SSN. You see it on IRS forms. You see it on applications. You see it on applications for employment, for a license. You won't see it on a patent application, as I explained yesterday. the issue with that is it's a Social Security account number. It is not your Social Security number. It is not your driver's license. Don't steal. It's a bad idea. That's what politicians do, and they're all going to hell. So don't do what they do. If you're asked for your Social Security number, well, you don't have one. So you put a line through the word your, and after the second S, SSN, just write in a little A. Because then it's the Social Security account number. And you've been asked to use it, and you can use it. Just use it correctly. There's no issues there. There was a big thing years ago where people were trying to turn in their Social Security number. You can't. It's not yours. You can't give back something that you don't own. If you try and give it back, you're claiming it's yours. If the officer asks you for your driver's license, you don't have one, but you're holding the states, just offer him, hey, if you want that thing that I'm holding for the state, hey, sure, you guys can have it back. Understand if you take it back and you issue a bill pursuant to that license, since you're now the holder of the license, you get to pay the friggin' bill. Thank you very much. And go ahead and let him pay the ticket. He may not issue you one then. So when you do the line through the your, SSAN, it's their number. You're not stealing it. The biggest problem with that is because it is truly a Social Security account number. When you replace the account with the word your, what are you really replacing the account with? Your body. That's it. That is the presumption of all law. That is the most fundamental basic of all law. You chose to replace the account with your body. I'm telling you, it's a bad idea. I would never do that. I don't want to replace anything with my body. I've wanted to replace a few things with other people's bodies. I just don't believe in doing that. So it's your action that puts you in that situation. I would advise you not to do it. Yes. What's that? Oh, I would never want to do that. I'm neither a communist nor a slave. So I don't believe, remember, if you accept a benefit, you are therefore responsible to some duties and obligations. It is exactly what it says. Socialist. I'm not a socialist. Why would I have anything to do with that? Yes. I would never accept that. I have no insurance. Yeah. I've got cigarettes and Jack Daniels. What the hell would I need insurance for? I'm single. I don't want to die. I don't want to get into that stuff because that's a lot of religious beliefs and that stuff. And, we're not here for that today. But I don't want to be part of that system. I just don't. If you want to be part of that system, that's your choice. I have no issues with it. There's a lot of people who want to be part of that system. We're not here to talk about that system. The problem that you get is, look what the system's doing to you right now. It's not going to get better. It's not. This is where we've come because people wanted to be part of that system. If you want to be part of that system, this is where it leads. So we have to have meetings so that we don't lose everything. Because if you're part of the system and the system decides it's going to take everything, then you pay all this money to come hear some guy that drinks too much talk all day. It's not conducive to having a good life and being free and knowing what you want to do with your life. But if you want to have them take care of you, it's a lot like, having a child at home. Do you have to take care of that kid? Then that kid better listen to you, right? Because if that kid don't listen to you, he may get spanked, he may get grounded. You see the system? When somebody's taking care of you, they get to do whatever they want. I just don't like that. Yes.